Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69 and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be having a look at the tier 10 new British light tank, the Vickers light. Nice tank. It is a nice tank, very different to the other light tanks we have in tier 10 with the Batchat and the Sheridan, completely different, and I like that versatile choice now we have with light tanks in tier 10. Now the stats on this is actually really good. It has the highest DPM, has the highest penetration, it has the highest shell velocity, not the best aim time, but it also has the best armor. You can say the Sheridan is better because of the spaced armor, but I mean, this thing can bounce. It has 120 millimeters of hull armor, and it has 152 millimeters of turret armor. So the armor for a light tank is actually pretty goddamn good. If you can use the gun depression on the thing, you will get bounces in this thing. It has 10 degrees of gun depression. Again, it's 65 kilometers an hour speed, and it has that higher pen HE. It hasn't got the HESH. If this had HESH, this thing would be broke as fuck. It would be broke. So I can understand, even though it's disappointing for a British tank, especially in tier 10, not to have that HESH, I can completely understand why it hasn't, because it will be broke. It will be broke. But they could put it on. I mean, they could put it on and they could sort of hire the reload time. But 105 millimeters of HE pen, of course you can get it up a bit more if you are running calibrated shells on this. But to be honest, I wouldn't run calibrated shells. Honestly, I wouldn't run calibrated shells on this, because the DPM is 3,200 if you don't run calibrated shells. So yes, it would drop below 3,000 if you do run them calibrated shells, but honestly, I don't think you need to run calibrated shells on this. I think 105 millimeters is enough HE pen to get a few tanks, especially mediums, other light tanks, rear of tanks, and it's a light tank, so you need to be able to get behind the tanks like we are doing here with the WZ, and you will be able to penetrate quite a lot of tanks with that HE. 245 millimeters of AP pen, or your standard round, which again is the best in it's the best light tank pen. So overall, I don't think the tank's OP. I don't think it comes anywhere near the tier 9. The tier 9, I just think it is absolutely broke. But this is solid. It is a solid tank. It's a solid tank that can do the job. And as you can see there, when the update first came out, it was a pretty easy tank to ace. And so was the tier 9. And I'm so glad I got the tier 9 and the tier 8 aced. And I've already aced the tier 10 when we tested it, because now you go try ace these tanks. I mean, Skate Extreme showed me a screenshot of the tier 9 doing 6,500 damage, 1,600 base XP, and it was only a first class. Absolute crazy. 1,600 base XP should be enough to ace any single tank in the game. So that's just showing how well the tank is doing. And honestly, I do not think this tank is OP. I'm not just saying it. I think it is actually perfectly balanced, and that's the truth. I do think it is perfectly balanced. The pen's good, the armor's okay. I mean, the armor's pretty good for a light tank, sorry. The speed's really good, the shell velocity is really good, and I mean, the versatile of the tier 10s now, I mean, you used to just have a Batchat. When we just had the Batchat, it was the only light tank in tier 10, and Wargaming constantly told us they have no plans to add any more light tanks into tier 10. Before you know it, we've now got 3, and all 3 are completely different. I mean, you have the Batchat, which I still absolutely love. I love the Batchat. You have it's an auto-loader. You have the Sheridan, as we know, it's the missiles, and now you have this, which is basically your bulk standard medium tank, but it's a light tank, so it has the best view range as well. And because of the shell velocity, you should be able to spot the tanks, relocate, spot them early, spot the tanks early, relocate, and then you can even snipe in this thing. I'm not saying snipe, I am not saying just go and snipe in this thing, but you can, and you can play it so many different ways. You can play it like a light tank, where you go and spot all your targets and you let your enemy get the damage, or you let your team get the damage. You can go and spot, relocate, and if you've got shots off, then you can, if you want to play from distance. I mean, you have the speed as well. You have the speed, you have the armor, and we're going to bounce this bat chat here, and this is the things you can do. And the bat chat's the same. The bat chat is the same, and you can get some troll bounces when you are in the bat chat. The Sheridan is the same. The Sheridan probably one of the most annoying armored tanks in the game. I mean, you shoot the side of it, it will bounce. You shoot HE near almost anywhere on it, and it doesn't high pen unless you get the right spot, like at the back of the turret or the back of the tank at the bottom. Other than that, everything else is spaced armor. So it is very, very troll. But if you can use this thing with the gun depression, you will get some bounces. So not a bad battle there, 4.5k damage. And again, it was an ace, but it was early. No one was really playing the tank when I got these aces. But we're going to have one more game, and and it's a perfect game to show just how you can play this. And it is driven by Droodles the Noodles himself. And he's going to play it very, very, I mean, he's not going to play it aggressively. As you can see here, he's going to sit in the bush. Because of that view range, you don't have to get much closer to spot these tanks. So where normally in a light tank, you'll go to the hill in front, Droodles is not. He's sitting back, he's not rushing, he's being patient, and he's going to do that all game. He's going to do that all game. He's not going to do it as a proper medium pushing aggressively. He's just going to sit back, and he's going to let the view range, the camo, do the work for him. And when he has the targets, he is going to try and take out those targets. You can see there he has the shot on the IS-7. Unfortunately, he does bounce, but of course the IS-7 is a troll tank with the armor. So now he's spotted. He did take a little bit of time to sit back there, and he does take a shot from that T-57 heavy. But now he's looking at the map, and this is what good players do. He's looking at the map, he's looking at their map awareness, and he knows now he'd be able to get him behind this T-57. Even if he only gets one shot, but he wasn't spotted, but that one shot was enough to open up the other tank sitting at the back. So he now knows what he's got to do, and he's going to come in at a different angle. This guy on his team is just YOLOing completely, and now he can get another shot in on that T-57, and he now knows where all the tanks are. There's a Leopard there, a Leopard PTA there, but he's ignoring the Leopard. He's not going for the easy shots. He was going for the lower hit point targets, and now the T-57 heavy has gone. He can now focus as much as he can on the Leopard PTA. Nice shot there in the Sheridan. That was a very nice shot, because now that brings him down to a one shot, and he's telling the IS, look right, man, he's a one shot, clear him, you can clear him, don't let me clear him. So he's now going to take another shot, another nice HE against the Leopard PTA. But the Sheridan is still alive, but he's just going to wait, because he has these side shots from distance. And again, like I said, this is the difference between good players and average players. They don't just look at the easy targets. I mean, a lot of people would look at the Sheridan and just go for the Sheridan. They wouldn't even think to look around the map to see if there's any more shots to get. And that is exactly what Droodle's done. He does take a nasty shot from this Death Star here that now puts him down to a one shot. But he now knows that, I mean, they're winning. His team are winning. That's not going to be for too much longer, but he now knows he could get a couple of shots in on the Death Star before the Death Star's reloaded. So he is reloaded now. He's going to, very risky. He was very risky at taking that shot, but again, he had to bait that shot, and he did bait the shot, and now he can just go and farm some damage on this Death Star, because he's the only tank now on the enemy team that can one-shot him. And now all of a sudden his team have died, his team are vanishing, and it is a 3-on-3, and he's gonna pay. He's using heat there. It didn't really matter, because I don't think he would be able to clear that guy anyway. But he's not going to go rushing. He's going to play it very, very patiently, because both of his last teammates are both one shot, so he doesn't want to risk losing any more hit points if he doesn't need to. Nice shot there on the Jagdtiger. He does get spotted, but he's just going to back up. He's not going to take any damage. He's just going to wait. There goes the VK72, so it is now a 2 versus 3, but there's 2 one-shots on the team. Now, does he go for the IS-7? Personally, I would flank all the way around to go for that IS-7 because he knows the AMX and the Jagdtiger are both around together in this position. But now, all of a sudden, he is on his own. And again, both tanks are spotted there, so he's going to now use the light tank mobility. Well, just a minute. He is going to use that mobility to just get away. He is playing it really risky here because all 3 tanks knows where he is and they're all coming towards him. But he's going to play, again, like I said, he's playing it very risky and waiting for this AMX 50B, but unfortunately doesn't manage to get the shot off. And now, I mean, he could have got all the way around this side and he could have easily cleared that IS-7 before any of the tanks come close. But now he has to be very, very careful. He needs to clear this guy without taking a shot, and that is exactly what he does. Very GG there, Droodles. So now he's on 6k damage. He baits that shot from the Jagdtiger. Now, the Jagdtiger has got very good DPM, so he needs to clear him. But of course, the AMX 50B, he's an auto loader. So if he's got all 3 shells reloaded, which he should have, then he's going to only take 2 proper shots. But luckily he does low roll there, very low roll, so he can now actually take another shot. And he does that. So again, I know he's trying to bait. He has to bait the shots. But now he's a 1-shot against these 2 tanks. Now, who does he go for? Now, these 2 guys should have rushed together, and he gets a nice and lucky bounce. That was a lucky bounce there from that AMX. But he now knows that the AMX is on a reload, so he can try and focus on this Jagdtiger. Again, he's trying to bait the shots. He does bait the shot there, but he's playing it very risky, and he's got away with it so far, literally by the skin of his teeth. So now it is just him and the AMX 50B, both 1-shots. He's on 6.8k damage, 4 kills. There's still a minute left to go on the clock, and the best thing about being a light tank up against a heavy is that mobility. He can flank around, come in at a different angle. As soon as he resets his camo, he can come in at a different angle. But unfortunately, there is that little mud pile in front of the AMX 50B, and he does get spotted, but he's just going to be patient. He can see that the AMX 50B is trying to bait the shot, and he gets away with it. Very good game there, Droodles. Thank you for sending me that in. And that is the Vickers Light. Very good tank, not OP. Definitely a line to grind, and definitely different than all the other light tanks. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With